With Simplergov and Visual Studio both downloaded and installed, I'm ready to start customizing the first layer of Simplergov, which we call the Select layer. I'm going to work with this simple data set related to building permits. It has about 3,600 rows and 11 columns, representing 8 years of permit enforcement data from the county. Column names in the first row, no formulas or formatting. The file name is permitenforcements.xls, and to keep it simple, I'm storing it in C data. To automate the first level of this process, if I want to, I can open up Simplergov, and in the Select Layer section, click on XLS file, put in the path and file name, and click Build. Now this automatically creates a basic Select XML template, and I can save this as select.xml and start using it immediately through the Simplergov interface. But as a developer, it's important to know how we got here. So I'm going to look at how we would create this same XML template from scratch. There's a test XML template named helloworld.xml in the Simplergov installation folder. So if I put that file name in the URL, I will see Hello World returned. And if I open helloworld.xml in Visual Studio, I can see it's just a very basic XML template. So I'm just going to copy and paste and rename this file select.xml. Now when I call up select.xml in the URL, I again see Hello World because I haven't changed anything. But if I go in and edit the text in select.xml and then save it, I'll see the edits when I reopen select.xml in the Simplergov interface. So you can start to see at a basic level how XML templates interact with Simplergov. Now let's go back and use this to create a real select template. Every XML template created in Simplergov starts with a template tag. Now I'm going to delete these other tags because they had to do with the helloworld.xml. When I put an opening bracket at the second level, I see a list of choices. And since this is a select layer template, I'm going to choose select. And when I put a closing bracket, the close tag automatically appears. And I just hit enter a couple of times to get some space to work. Now at the third level, we start to get layer specific tags relating to queries, tables, forms, and so on. Since select layer templates are all about grabbing data, we will start with a query tag. Now we need a tag for the data format we will be grabbing. I'm using an Excel file, so I'll choose the tag for XLS file. Now see this line that appears? I run my mouse over it and see that XML wants attributes for the XLS file. So I put in the path, and file name, for my data set. And now the line goes away. See, these helpful tooltips and drop-down lists that appear when I put in a bracket are called IntelliSense. Which reminds me, let me back up for a minute and talk about a couple of relevant attributes on the template tag. Access has to do with security, so we'll save that for later. And description is just a reference name, so I'll change that to permit enforcements select. And all the way out at the end here is this XML specific attribute called schema location. Now this is a path to a file that contains the rules for how these XML documents are structured. And this is where the IntelliSense is coming from. See, if I were to change this path so that template.xsd can't be found, I would lose the IntelliSense. So no IntelliSense probably means there's a problem with this path. Okay, now I'm going to add one more attribute here. First row contains column names equals, and set that value to Y for yes or true. And now I'm done with a very, very basic select template. So now if I run this template in Simplergov, I see the data from my Excel file returned in CSV format. Now you understand the basics of the Simplergov platform. We utilize XML templates to grab data from a file and return it in the Simplergov interface. And as you continue to customize these XML templates to meet your specific needs, you create an extremely powerful dynamic search engine for data that's not only user-friendly but user-empowering. Thanks for watching.